Good day everyone, my name is Daisy Monpon, BTBT FSM 3A student, and this time I'll be having my virtual presentation with the topic that was assigned to me in chapter 4A, which is all about kinds of taxes under existing laws. Okay, so let's proceed with our objectives or our aims at the end of the discussion. So the students are expected to, first, we are going to define what is taxation. Second, identify the different taxes under existing laws. And lastly, we are going to explain at least two taxes under existing laws. So next, we have our key terms. So these are the terms that we are going to encounter in the middle of our discussion. So the first one is Bureau of Internal Revenue, or we all know this one as BIR. So this is an agency that collects more than half of the total revenues of the government. Second, defray, so or it means to provide or payment of. Third is we have levy or levy, the imposition or collection. Fourth, a presidential decree. So these are the rule of law issued by a head of state according to a certain procedure. So these are the laws na ina-issue, for example, ng president, no? So next we have Republic Act. So it is a piece of legislation used to create policy in order to carry out the principles of the Constitution. Second, next is we have tax. So it is a charge usually of money imposed by authority on persons or property for public purposes. So next we have taxpayers. So we are the taxpayers, no? One that pays or liable for a tax. So even though we don't still have a work, no? So we already are paying taxes, no, sa mga bagay na binibili natin. So next we have trusts. So it's not the trust, no, trust issue, no, it's not. So it is a combination of firms or corporations formed by a legal agreement. So we already had those key terms, no. So mas maliwanag sa atin later on of what will be the uses of these terms. So next, let's define what is taxation. So taxation is a way of raising income in order to defray the necessary expenses of the government. It is the inherent power of the state to demand contribution to finance all government expenses. There are two kinds of taxes, which are national taxes and local taxes. So we will get to know what are these national and local taxes. So let's proceed with the national taxes. Unahin muna natin. So the first one is national taxes. So these are taxes imposed and collected by the national government through the Bureau of Internal Revenue. So ito yung binabayaran natin nationally. So for example, those yung mga BIR or mga registered, no, na mga businesses like mga restaurant, no, they are paying their national taxes. So hindi lang sila nagbabayad ng local tax kasi meron din silang binabayaran na local tax sa mga municipalities nila or sa mga localities nila. So we will proceed with the Republic Act number 84/24, so otherwise known as Tax Reform Act of 1997 as amended. It covers the organization and function of the Bureau of Internal Revenue or BIR. It sets out the power and duties of the BIR and the powers and authorities of its commissioner, regional directors, and revenue officers. So Tax Reform Act of 1997, dito nakapaloob yung mga duties and responsibilities ng mga officers ng BIR. So next we have this Republic Act is the largest content of the code pertains to the income tax. This portion of the act states the definition, general principles, tax rates, and computations of income tax on individual taxpayers, corporations, estates, and trusts. It also prescribes the accounting periods, methods of accounting, and other income tax requirements that taxpayers should comply. So just like what I told earlier, na this Republic Act number 84/24 is dito nakapaloob yung mga duties and responsibilities ng mga officers ng BIR, and at the same time yung mga principles and requirements of taxpayers. So next, we have Tariffs and Customs Code of the Philippines. So the law governing tariff and customs duties, otherwise known as Presidential Decree number 1464, which consolidated and codified the tariff and customs laws in the Philippines. The office charged with the administration and enforcement of the law is the Bureau of Customs and Tariff Commission. Next, we have the Sugar Adjustment Act. So, restricted agricultural production by paying farmers to reduce crop area. Its purpose was to reduce crop surplus so as to effectively raise the value of crops, thereby giving farmers relative stability gain. Next, we have the Presidential Decree number 1183, as well known as the Travel Acts at the Travel Tax. So it is a levy imposed by Philippine government on individuals who are leaving the Philippines, whether Filipino citizen or not, irrespective of the place where the air ticket is issued and form or place payment. So itong travel tax naman ito is binabawas or pinapataw doon sa mga taong lumalabas at pumapasok ng bansa. So, next we have Republic Act number 5447, also known as the Special Education Fund Law. So, it consists of broad requirements that mandate schools to provide financial support appropriate for public education. Next is we have the Presidential Decree number 1183. So the provisions of this act shall control as they apply the registration and operation of motor vehicles and licensing owners, dealers, conductors, drivers, and similar matters. So ang Presidential Decree number 1183, also known as the Private Motor Vehicle Act. So it consists of the duties and responsibilities din ng motor owners as well as the business owners ng mga motor vehicles. So next is we have the Batas Pambansa bilang 36 or 36. So its purpose is to impose an energy tax on electric power consumption and to give businesses and consumers an incentive to use alternative energy sources such as solar and wind power and to raise revenue for the government in order to finance public spending. So ito yung mga Meralco, Sukelco, ganun. So, Presidential Decree number 477. So, a presidential decree providing for the increase of capitalizations of rural banks. So, let's proceed with the local taxes. So, what are these local taxes, no? So, ito yung mga taxes na binabayaran natin sa ating mga localities. So, these are the taxes imposed by the local government, usually collected in a form of property taxes and is used to fund a wide range of civic services from garbage collection to sewer maintenance. The amount of the local taxes may vary widely from one jurisdiction to the next. So, these local taxes, ito yung binabayaran ng mga business owners sa kanilang mga municipalities, ganon sa mga provinces nila. So, yung mga nagko-collect nito is yung mga mayors or yung mga delegated officers, no, from the mayor's office or yung talaga para mag-collect ng taxes, no. So, we have this Republic Act number 7160 or the Local Government Code of 1991. So, these taxes, fees, or charges are imposed by the local government units such as provinces, cities, municipalities, and barangays who have been given the power to levy such taxes by the code. So, next, we have the Real Property Tax Code. All real property in the province is assessed annually for taxation purposes on the basis of its real and true value. So, for example, yung mga mansions sa mga provinces, so, nilalagyan niya ng mga taxes, pinapatawan ng taxes. So, we have the next, the tax ordinance of the respective barangay, municipality, or province. So, these are taxes imposed by barangay or the municipality or province in which each of its varies from place to place given certain conditions. These taxes or laws need to be approved by the government before they get imposed to their respective divisions. So, those are the local and national taxes, no? I discussed. So I hope you had learned something, and if you want to broaden up your knowledge pa about these kinds of taxes under existing laws, no, so you may visit, the reference that I am flashing on my screen, or you can browse on Google or on other sources, no. So thank you for your valued presence, and thank you for listening, and may God bless us all.